battling for a top 3 finish, so there's plenty at stake here in Cumbria. This is how the table stands at the moment. Featherstone Rovers well out in top at the moment. Lee second place in the table. And the winners of this game will be the only team with a mathematical chance of catching Featherstone. Halifax have a game in hand on Darryl Powell's team. Barrow have 2 games in hand, but Rovers really do seem near certainties to take that top spot. Sheffield Eagles and Widnes Vikings completing the top 6, but Toulouse and Batley could yet have a say in those top 6 places. Well, another busy weekend to come in the Championship. After this, there's Keighley against Toulouse on Saturday at 6 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday for Dewsbury against Batley. That should be some party. The Batley fresh from their victory in the Northern Rail, and Dewsbury always willing to give them a warm welcome. Then it's Whitehaven against Featherstone and Widnes against Lee. And in Championship 1 on Sunday, these are all 3 o'clock kickoffs for Blackpool against Oldham, Gateshead against Hunslet, London Scholars against Doncaster, and Rochdale against South Wales, York against Workington Town. Well, the Barrow Raiders are looking to bounce back after losing at Batley last time out just about 2 weeks ago, but no Jermaine McGilvray for them, recalled by Huddersfield, while Richard Fletcher, Rob Roberts and James Nixon still out. So it's Gary Broadbent at fullback, Andy Ballard, Anthony Blackwood is back at Barrow on loan from Crusaders, Liam Harrison, Andreas Bauer, Jamie Rooney, who captains the side, and James Coyle back in action after a knee injury. And in the forwards, Andy Braychek, Nathan Mossop, Brett McDermott, Paul Noon, Ned Katic and Zeb Luisi. And on the bench, Michael Knowles, Martin Osler, Jamie Butler and another on-loan player, Keil Carlisle of the Huddersfield Giants. The coach is Steve McCormack. Now, Halifax have had some upheaval recently. Saeed Tamgart, Mark Roberts have left the club. No sign of Stanley Jean or Michaeli Izu at the moment, out of favour. And there's no return still for Miles Greenwood. So it's Shad Royston at full-back, Lee Patterson, John Goddard, Dylan Nash, Rob Warrensey, Luke Brannigan and Ben Black. No Graham Holroyd in the backs today. In the forwards, Neil Cherryhome, Bob Beswick, Michael Ostick, David Larder the captain, David Wrench and Sam Barlow, just signed from the Sheffield Eagles. And on the bench, Sean Penkovic, Frank Watine, Dominic Maloney and Anthony Bowman. The coach is Matt Calland. So with the way the table is at the moment, a lot to play for these two sides. 4th against 3rd in the table. Halifax with a win can go above Lee into 2nd place. And Halifax on the back of a big win against Whitehaven last time out, 66 points to 16, in pretty confident mood. Add that to the fact that they emphatically beat Barrow 46 points to 24 at the Shea in May, and Matt Calland must be fairly confident that this side can do a job here at Barrow. Having said that, Raiders very tough to beat on their own ground. The FAC supporters have made the lengthy journey here to South Cumbria, hoping that David Larder can lead his side to success where others have failed here. Only Featherstone Rovers have won on this ground, and that is an indication, Terry, of how tough it is to come here to Barrow Raiders and win.
This Halifax side need to make sure that they play their A game tonight up against a very tough physical Barrow side coached by that man Steve McCormack. But they know last time that they played Halifax, they were accused of not being able to play the game. They were playing with brain explosions, not getting to the kick, and have got to make sure that they control the ball and test this Halifax side out.
Steve McCormack there, and no, you weren't seeing things. Dave Clark alongside him, the former coach, who is back here as a match day assistant, combining his duties as a coach with the Wigan Warriors community department. Still lives in this part of the world, so happy to help out on match days for this Barrow Raiders club. Just going back to this challenge that Halifax face here. They've got good away form, won 5 from 7 away from home this season. Jamie Rooney captaining the Barrow Raiders side tonight. And of course these two met in a memorable grand final in the Championship last season, which Barrow won by 26 points to 18. Ron Lawton is the referee here at Craven Park this evening, and the conditions pretty good. It's dry, thankfully, a bit of wind around, the pitch in good shape, so all set fair for what should be another very tight championship game, getting us underway. And Barrow Raiders, a false start from Jamie Rooney. And the seagull has gone. We've been plagued by a seagull all through the warm-up. It's sat there on the field, absolutely it's not gone. Oh yeah, it's on the 20-metre line in the Barrow Raiders half. It's a very stubborn seagull. But that's the short kick-off immediately. And Brannigan does well to gather that ball.
Well, Barrow kicking into a real strong wind. Talking to Lee Patson before the game, I said when he's playing in the second half up that end of the park, good defensive effort. He's got to kick it low. Bob Bezic practicing early before the game, going for the 40-20.
Bezic's gone for the 40-20. I think he's got it. It looked as though it was just about inside the 20. It was. What a start that is for Halifax and from Bob Bezic. A 40-20, I think only on the third tackle there.
Well, he was out 40 minutes before the rest of his team practicing this kick. He's got 7 more yards there. Outstanding kick in the first set of 6 from this Halifax side.
Everybody holding nice and tight. I'll call it. Wait. Stand up.
So, great start for Matt Callan's men with that kick, putting them in a good position. But from the scrum, that's good defence.
1 on your line. Move. Hold.
The seagull just clearing the play the ball area. 2 tackles gone. Bezic. Brannigan. Here is Ben Black now. Black. Royston joining in with the attack. Tackle on the 10-metre line. They haven't made that much progress since that scrum on the 10-metre line. Here is Goddard now, taking it on his own. Noon with the tackle. Katic in there as well. And Blackwood. 4 tackles gone in this set of 6. Here is Brannigan now. Brannigan with the kick into the corner. Too strong for Warranty.
That was the correct idea. He saw the space for Warranty. Just execution not up to scratch. He spots it. Yet again, we see another kick. Could have been practiced, could have been played for. And it's a scrum down end feed Barrow. But just watching the 2 sides warm up before kick-off, I noticed that Barrow were trying to keep things in really tight. And they were looking at getting behind the block hole. And I noticed that Halifax were looking to target C and D defenders. The 3rd and 4th defender out in the defensive line.
Here's Harrison now. And Harrison with the first hit up for this Barrow Raiders side. Braychek, the Welsh international, was really the indication, Andy Braychek's signing, of the way that the Barrow Raiders were heading when they started to move upwards, winning promotion. Braychek joining the club, an indication of their intentions. McDermott stopped in his tracks but did well to get that ball away. Noon. But it's good defence from Halifax. 4 tackles gone. As Blackwood plays the ball. Off goes Gary Broadbent now. Mossop. Rooney. Rooney trying a 40-20 as he hits into the arms of Warranty. And Warranty losing his footing on the lush turf here.
Well, he's not helped his teammates out there, losing his footing. Warranty. He caught the ball on the full and everything that was asked of him. He just needed to get forward, putting his teammate Shad Royston under pressure. Barrow getting numbers in, so he catches the ball. Whoops-a-daisy.
Cherryholm plays the ball. So not another 40-20, is it? It could be, you know. It is. Back-to-back 40-20s for Bob Bezic. And he gets a pat on the head. We'll just wait for the referee to confirm this. It is. It's another 40-20 kick from Irish international Bob Bezic. And what a start to the game he's had. It's a 30-20.
He's a very talented player, Bob Bezic. Really enjoys that hooking role. You see from his squad number that all things being right, all things being square, he gets put on the back of the scrum. But when he's acting half-back, I think good things happen for Halifax.
Black. Short pass for Goddard. But Barrow Raiders defence read that one. Reception committee for Goddard as he came back in field. Larder now. Looking for a quick play the ball, but he's not going to get it. Blackwood and Braychek with the tackle. Bezic pops it up for Cherryholm. Cherryholm trying to break free of the tackle of Blackwood. Barrow Raiders right on their own try line, and Halifax now again pressing. Brannigan. Here's David Wrench. 4 tackles gone. Can Halifax make this count? Brannigan pops the ball up. Sam Barlow it is, who's tackled just short of the try line. That's the 5th. What will they go for this time? A little kick ahead, and it's goal line dropout. Broadbent first to defuse that. The Halifax supporters at that end of the ground optimistically feeling that Brannigan might have got there himself, but Broadbent, it was always his.
Well, Gary Broadbent had to be aware of the danger, and the danger was Bob Bezic. Puts that ball through, and Shad Royston chasing up. The brave fullback Gary Broadbent puts his body on the line.
Oh, it's out on the fall from Rooney. So close, though. If that had come off, it would have been an inspired choice from Rooney, but it didn't. Out on the fall, and Halifax will get the ball back right in front of those posts.
But again, under a bit of pressure now.
The penalty then 10 metres out, bang in front of the posts to Halifax. So pretty incessant pressure early on here. First 6 minutes, it's been virtually one-way traffic. Those 40-20s from Bob Bezic, and now that ball out on the full means that Barrow Raiders are once again back on their own try line. Can they withstand this pressure this time? Larder. 3 tackles gone. Black now. That look forward it was. Things went a little skew-whiff there. Not sure Ostick was the intended recipient of that pass, but he got it.
Barrow will breathe a huge sigh of relief. They've been under pressure for most of the opening 6 minutes. And Ben Black with a poor selection on his pass. He had 2 players to choose from and a player out the back as well.
So that is a let-off for the Barrow Raiders. And now here's Liam Harrison.
That is a real let-off, because they had numbers on the right-hand side, Halifax. See that Jamie Rooney was in tight.
Katic gets the ball away to Bauer, and Bauer, has he got the legs? He comes back in field and runs into Royston. But that was a good breakout, led by Ned Katic, and Liam Harrison thunders onto that pass and then makes a good few yards for the Barrow Raiders. This is a good response from the Raiders after that early pressure they were under. Coyle. Rooney now across the field. Luisi ships it on to Blackwood, who couldn't take the pass, and Patterson will pick it up for Halifax.
Definitely end-to-end tonight. Both teams not afraid to throw this ball around. A superb break from Barrow, running onto the ball strong, and here's the handling error that gives Halifax back the ball.
Warranty. About 30 metres out. Black stabs the kick through. Patterson is chasing. Broadbent across. Patterson collars him.
Again, good play by Gary Broadbent, the fullback. He had a little look up. He saw that 3 Halifax defenders were chasing onto that ball. But again, putting pressure on Barrow, bringing the ball away from their own line. It's all it seemed to have been down this end of the park all through the game. Again, good speed of the line from Halifax. Controlling Barrow's play of the ball.
Well, we've got news of a pitch invader. I think Rod Studd has got the details.
Well, that seagull in the middle of the pitch, Bill, has been there since the start of the warm-up into this game. It's still out there, and with players just running around it, it's completely fearless. I mean, there's most people would run a mile with the likes of Frank Watine running at them, but he's just stood there in the middle of the pitch, pecking away, still on the halfway line.
Well, they do say the birds in Barrow are pretty tough, and that's evidence of it. Penalty.
Can I just distance myself from that comment, Bill?
Oh, I thought... Meanwhile, penalty against Dylan Nash, I think it was. And that's welcome news for the Barrow Raiders and their supporters. Gets them out of their own half. Katic. The Seagull retreating with the Halifax defensive line at the moment.
He's bobbying.
Braychek on the halfway line now. Oh, and then a fumble from Mossop, and Wrench picks it up. Referee will bring him back. There was no advantage there. And Nathan Mossop hangs his head.
A real shame. Nathan Mossop 18 months ago playing amateur rugby league. His coach, filled full of praise for his development in the last 6 months or so. Unfortunately, his handling skills let him down on that occasion.
Brannigan then will feed the scrum for Halifax, who can't complain about a lack of possession early on here. They haven't managed to convert it into any points. 10 minutes gone.
But again, was the mistake. It's right on halfway. They've now got to defend their half again. How long can they keep it up?
Broadbent flings himself at Bezic there. He's not the biggest of characters, Gary Broadbent, but he never in his career has he held back. Bezic again. Black. Quick hands, and Goddard's gone without it. Claims that it was a Barrow hand that knocked it out. Referee says maybe so, but you should have had control of it. It was Ballard who stuck out a hand.
And the idea was right. They're looking to expose something on this short side. And Ballard, you're right, just gets his hand to it. John Goddard, he felt like he should have got the nod. Barrow get the ball.
Referee Lawton just emphasising the fact it was a loose carry to John Goddard. Here's Braychek now, up to the 30-metre line in his own half. McDermott past Nash, but runs into Bezic and has lost the ball. It's gone backwards, says the referee. No, it hasn't. Knock on.
I think that was an offload, that. I think that was an offload, touched by an Halifax hand. There you see it.
That's Bezic's knock on, surely, isn't it?
I think so, Bill. I think he's been hard done to there, Brett McDermott. Throws that ball back, and there's the knock on.
Bezic definitely had a hand on that. Head and feed to Halifax. They've spent most of the opening 12 minutes here inside the Barrow Raiders half, but it's still 0-0. They get the penalty. Ball steal in that instant, and Blackwood, the man picked out.
Well, Anthony Blackwood, 2 men in the tackle when he strips this ball. But that's the difference. Brett McDermott tries to offload the ball. Halifax get it, and straight from the mistake, you can see Cherryholme goes in strong into this. Blackwood, no, it's Paul Noon.
Here's Larder now. So once again, Halifax in a great position to get the first points on the board. Can they make the most of it? It's with Black now. Black gets it wide to Dylan Nash. Nash, always dangerous with his offloads, but that is why Bauer is all over him, and Rooney. Warrency. Wrench. Rooney gets hold of a leg and brings him to ground. 3 tackles gone. Brannigan. Here is Ben Black now. Black puts the brakes on and then gets it to Goddard. Goddard steps back inside and gets the ball down for the opening try of the game. His 7th of the season, and it had to come. The pressure was just about relentless from Matt Callan's men. And they'd come close. They'd blown 1 or 2 opportunities, but eventually, again down that left-hand side, John Goddard gets over for try number 7 of his season.
Well, Barrow really not helping themselves. See, Cherryholme takes the ball, and it's Paul Noon that strips this ball. They don't seem to be able to get to the kick, and it's the width for the passes from Brannigan to Ben Black. And again, John Goddard is a threat every time he gets hold of this ball. Gary Broadbent tried everything to prevent him from scoring this try. But the distance of that pass from Brannigan, he beats 4 or 5 Barrow defenders, and this man, John Goddard, just has the strength to go over in the corner.
And now one of the competition's top marksmen. 105 goals so far this season for Lee Patterson. And on target once again for the first time tonight. And Halifax ahead by 6 points to 0, looking for a championship double tonight, having beaten them at their place and up and running with this try.
There are an excellent skills on show for this try, but put it down to the weight of possession. For the opening 12 or 13 minutes, Barrow have done all the defending, have done almost 4 times more defending, more tackling than their opposition.
Rooney again gives that one plenty of height and hang time, and Nash underneath it well, despite Katic getting there to get hold of him.
Done a very good job catching that ball. Katic, Mossip, also Rooney.
There's Sam Barlow back at Halifax. It's where his career started. Went off to Huddersfield and then to Sheffield. Barlow also had a spell at Widnes, but back with Halifax now. Warrency. 4 tries he got in the big win against Whitehaven last time out for Halifax. So he's a real threat, in form. Brannigan with the kick. This time it's not a 40-20. I think that's the first Halifax kick that probably hasn't been an attempt at a 40-20.
But it was an early kick as well, Bill. Halifax not afraid. Early parts of the tackle game, just get rid of the ball.
Halifax caught offside, penalty, a welcome one for the Barrow Raiders.
Well, this might help Barrow now. You can see they're not offside, they're not back with the referee, Ron Lawton. But this will help Barrow. They've got a lot of threats themselves, but they've got to be up this end of the park.
Steve McCormack's looking for a response from his side. Beaten last time out by the Batley Bulldogs. That's a good short pass for Braychet. And Braychet was looking for somebody on his shoulder. Nobody there. But here is Noon. Noon for Ned Katic. And Katic plays the ball. He's lost his shirt. He's lost his rag. He and Dylan Nash having a little set too. Harrison steps in. Meanwhile, play continues.
Neither of them two will back down, though.
And it's another penalty.
Luke Brannigan penalised for holding down. This is just the speed at which Barrow want to play this game.
McDermott running onto the pass from Rooney. And stopped just underneath those posts. Mossop. Here's Luisi now. Luisi for Katic, and Katic is stopped in his tracks by the tackle from Barlow. Wrench in there as well to tidy up. Mossop goes on his own. He's trying to roll over. 3 tackles gone. Now then, can Halifax withstand this pressure? The first real test of their defence here this evening. The lead by 6 points to 0 as the ball is spun out wide to Coyle, and Coyle trying to step through. And again, good defence. Here is Rooney now. Rooney fancies it himself, almost gliding through Jamie Rooney, but that's the 5th tackle. And it's McDermott who'll put the little kick in. Well, the regular kicker, Rooney, had just taken the ball up, was tackled, was on the ground, was playing the ball, so it fell to Brett McDermott, and not the best of kicks.
Poor option. They still had James Coyle and they still had Nathan Mossop who could have put that kick in. Instead, it was the big prop forward.
Well, he's done most things on the pitch, Brett McDermott, in his career.
A player, Bill, that has played in every single position for this club and actually made his debut in 1996 as a scrum half.
Warrency stepping away from 2 and over the halfway line.
You've got to close his space down very strong and fast when he gets going forward.
Frank Watine is on for Halifax, and it's 3 in there for the Barrow Raiders to stop Big Frank. Hits the ground with a thud. Tom Maloney in there as well. Luisi put his shoulder in. Maloney just bounced off him, spun away, got the ball away. Here's Bezic. Brannigan on the last, hoists the kick, and Bauer under pressure is tackled in the air, and it was Nash, I think, involved.
Yeah, well taken by Andres Bauer. It was Dylan Nash who took him in the air. That's why he's been penalised from Ron Lawton. He jumped up well, he claimed that ball under all the pressure from Dylan Nash. But that's a penalty. You can't take the man out in the air when he's jumping. You've got to regain his feet before he tackles.
Almost landed in Dylan Nash's arms, in fact. Liam Harrison. Andreas Bauer it was, beg your pardon. Braycek now tackled by Brannigan. Michael Knowles is on, that distinctive grey headguard that he wears, up to the halfway line. Here is Katic now, and Katic and Nash are having a real tussle there. That one could get very tasty indeed. Broadbent got the ball and Frank Watine at the same time virtually there, Gary Broadbent. Here is Luisi. Goddard all over him. Goddard, the try scorer, the only try so far tonight coming from John Goddard, converted by Patterson. Rooney under pressure really hoiks that kick across field. Nash underneath it, couldn't get it. Nobody's touched it. It's still on the last. Bauer with a little kick ahead. And Royston will field it. Bauer chasing well, but Royston's got away from him. And they got something out of that. The original kick from Rooney wasn't the best, but Bauer managed to make something out of it.
It was good kick pressure from Halifax, not allowing Rooney to get his perfect kick away. There was plenty of height on it. And in the end, Barrow just had to make the best of a bad job.
Still the positive for Steve McCormack and this Barrow side is now they're starting to get to the kicks and starting to play Halifax down this end of the park.
That's a penalty, and the referee says the player was held and they carried on moving.
Well, as soon as the referee calls held, you've got to let him go. See that Knowles just spinning him round, trying to buy his side an extra bit of time so they could get set in a straight defensive line. Unfortunately for his Barrow teammates, now got to defend in the half again.
And that's a good kick from Black, because it's taken Halifax right up to the 30-metre line inside the Barrow Raiders half. Frank Watine and Noon clinging on to him. Frank Watine trying to offload. I think Noon's got the ball.
Well, did he offload that ball and did Noon get it?
He did.
I thought Noon had it.
I agree with both of you. That was Noon's ball. Not seen by the ref.
Here is Royston, and Royston is tackled by Broadbent. Brannigan. Short pass for Wrench. Wrench gets it away. Brannigan over the top. And it's a stroll in for Dylan Nash for the try. Now then, will he go to the video ref? No. No doubt in the referee's mind about all that. And Dylan Nash gets his 6th try of the season. A simple finish for him. And Halifax doing well to keep that ball alive. But a moment of controversy in the build-up to that, perhaps. But Halifax didn't stand around and wait for the decision from referee Lawton. They carried on and they got the points.
Well, there's Watini. Does he offload that ball? Does it go into Noon's end? I think they're harsh done to that. Paul Noon leaves go of the ball in case it's a 2-on-1 and he gives that penalty away. But this is when Halifax are so good. You can see Wrench offload the ball, and that's confidence from Brannigan. He knew exactly that he had Dylan Nash out wide. He knew he had Warranty out wide. But again, the strength to offload that ball. Brannigan with the confidence to throw it over the top to his centre, Dylan Nash. I think they're hard done to. Watine offloads that ball. He loses it. It goes into Noon's hands. That's play on Barrow's ball. Very fortunate Halifax.
Patterson then with this conversion attempt from the other side of the field. Successful with his first. And this one is on target as well, because that is great goal kicking from Lee Patterson. That's why he is the top kicker, goal kicker in the championship. That's 107 for the season now. And that's very satisfying. Dylan Nash, a try scorer here for Gateshead Thunder when they won here at the end of last season. A remarkable victory on a miserable August night when they came here and won to, well, in the end, to no avail to survive in the championship. But financial constraints meant that it didn't work out for them. It almost didn't work out there for Brannigan from the restart, but just got away with it.
Well, Halifax are reaping the rewards from Lee Patterson and Bob Bezic. As I said before, they were both out practicing. Bob with his 40-20s. There's Brannigan. He loses it, just gathers it back in.
Sam Barlow. Brannigan now. Luisi puts the shoulder in and Brannigan bounced off him and then hit the deck. Keil Carlisle out there wearing 30 for the Barrow Raiders, on loan from the Huddersfield Giants for the remainder of the season, the 20-year-old hooker. Has played Super League. That's a... Oh, if it had stuck, it was right under the nose of the referee. Royston couldn't quite take it.
I thought that looked forward, Bill. Bob Bezic makes a break, comes back inside. Good idea. Maybe line.
To this line, to the line.
Matt Callan knows that player was on. I think Steve McCormack will getting a message down to the Barrow players. They need to respect possession. They need to get to the kicks, and they need to make this Halifax side work a bit defensively.
Raiders coach looking thoughtful. His side trailing by 12 points to 0 so far. Braychek Knowles was daydreaming a little bit. Wrench is struggling. He's just hit the deck in back play for no apparent reason, David Wrench. Here's Ned Katic now. Katic, well, Keele Carlisle wasn't expecting that. It's
Back to one.
Bit scrappy. It's gone backwards, says the referee. There's no signal it's gone back to one, is there?
No, I'm not sure whether that was played at.
No. Carry on with the tackle count, says referee Lawton. Rooney. Here is Blackwood. On the last then. And again, the ball's gone to not your recognised kicker. And Rooney gets a kick away, and it might yet come up for them. No, it's not going to. It's going to come up for Warrancy. Well, that again, they just lost their way.
They're all over the show. They're looking round for who's going to kick that ball. Set up some good field position. Win that last tackle before you look for your kicker to kick the ball. Let him kick it on the front foot under no pressure at all. So Barrow seem to be struggling, whereas Halifax, if you look at their kicking game with Brannigan and Black, they've got acres of time to kick that ball.
Of course, Halifax recruiting local boy Graham Holroyd recently from Swinton, but Holroyd not included tonight. Ben Black selected ahead of him, and here goes Black. Black on the run. He's away from Broadbent. He's got the pass to Goddard, and Goddard will get his second try of the night. And take your hat off to Ben Black for that. And Black, who was on the bench for the last game, in the starting lineup tonight. An igniting facts there with that run, which was finished off by John Goddard. Taking his tally to the season for 8 tries now, the former Hull KR man. And that's 3 tries against Barrow this season now for John Goddard.
But Barrow are their own worst enemies, not getting to a decent kick. But again, look at Ben Black. He's got so much balance. He's so strong for a little man. He keeps his feet. Ballard goes in to tackle him. He knows exactly what he's got to do. He's got to engage with the fullback Gary Broadbent before he passes that ball to John Goddard. But look at the space that he creates for himself. He gets rid of Zeb Luis, he gets rid of Andy Braychek, the big prop forward, keeps his feet, he's waiting for his teammates to catch him up before he offloads that ball to John Goddard just at the right time to go in for the try.
And the small army of Halifax fans who've made the journey, delighted with the form their side showing here this evening. Prior to that big win over Whitehaven, they'd lost the previous 2 games, so they're back on track on the evidence of this, and with Patterson in that sort of goal-kicking form, it's no surprise. They are 18-0 up here already, and John Goddard has got 2 of their tries.
Another one of the messages that Steve McCormack will be sending out is sort your kicking game out. There is no preempting, there's no planning. It gets to the last tackle, and it's whoever catches it has to kick it. He'll be asking his 6 and 7 to take control of that.
Matt James in the background there, another player out of the picture here at the Barrow Raiders at the moment because of their injury problems. So they have had, well, as virtually every side in the competition has had, a lot of injury problems. And the other problem that Barrow Raiders have had is this transfer embargo that they were under while they were in dispute with Andrew Henderson. That has very late in the day been resolved. Henderson now at Sheffield Eagles, which enabled them to bring in Keele Carlisle and Anthony Blackwood, but they're behind the ball there, weren't they?
It was a big loss, Andrew Henderson, to this club. A player that does calm the nerves when he's out there, but again, Halifax playing on the outside of this Barrow side.
And that's another good run from Goddard.
They're missing too many tackles, Barrow.
Penkovic is on, and Penkovic taking him on his own.
12 missed
4
tackles,
tackles
Barrow.
gone.
12 missed tackles, Barrow. Only 1 from Halifax.
Watine back on the inside for Maloney. Maloney has got support, and that's a try for David Wrench. Only his second of the season, and greeted deliriously by the Fax fans behind the posts. He doesn't get that many. And David Wrench made that one look so easy. He was there in support, and a prop to a second rower. And Halifax really are on fire here tonight. Wrench, the latest try scorer for them.
This Barrow side are absolutely shell-shocked. You can see they're not getting back, they're not set. Frank Watine, nobody's moving up, no one's putting pressure on the big man. He just tips the ball inside to Dominic Maloney. Look, no pressure whatsoever. Zeb Luisi waiting for him. Knowles attracted to him. Dominic Maloney goes in. He attracts Gary Broadbent, and David Wrench goes in for one of his simplest tries of his career.
The former Leeds and Wakefield man, one of the experienced players, shall we say, in this Halifax side. And Patterson, from bang in front of the post, maintains his 100% record, and Halifax 24 points to 0 ahead.
Here we go. We see Halifax moving the ball from one side to the other, just getting on the edge of the Barrow defence. You see Coyle just scrambling, Ballard just trying to scrag them down, but just pay tribute to the forwards from Halifax on that occasion. Watine, inside he gave it to Maloney and puts Larder over. They're not cannon fodder, these forwards.
Well, the Barrow Raiders supporters voicing their disapproval of what they're seeing from their side. Certainly that last try, defence was very flimsy up the middle of the field.
Well, Steve McCormack will want a reaction from some of his players here. And again, Big Frank making too many yards going forward.
That time David Larder was stopped in his tracks. Frank Watine again. Ever present so far this season, Frank Watine, as he plays the ball. Penkovic stabs the kick in. Ballard watches that one go into touch. Goddard was chasing. Patterson was there as well.
Well, the Halifax players having some fun now, trying some stuff, and they're allowed to at 24-0. Penkovic knows if he just tips that ball behind the defensive line, then one of his players has got a chance of picking it up. Everything gone right for Halifax tonight. Excellent game plan. Started right at the very outset. I've no doubt that Matt Callan said this pitch is a little bit tight. Barrow could be caught on 40-20s, and they did 2 in the first 5 minutes.
Here's Ned Katic now. Katic, Dylan Nash in there, wants a piece of the action. It was Wrench with the tackle. Rooney. Still plenty of time left in this game. We've only had half an hour. 24 points to 0 though. Barrow trail. Get some points on the board before half-time, and they might yet dig themselves out of this hole.
This man needs Zeb Luisi. He needs to get his hand on the ball, because when he has hold of the ball, things happen. His teammates need to push up with him. Also on this left edge, you look at Katic, you look at Harrison, you look at Bauer. Real danger, men.
Rooney this time has got the kick away, and it's Warrancy underneath it. He's lost it, and it's picked up by Broadbent, and they might get something from this now.
That's a better kick, Bill. Rooney put it sky high, and we all know Warrancy. We all know Warrancy, who gives that penalty away, has a difficult job when that ball's up in the air.
So the penalty. Now the ball in the hands of Martin Osler. And this is the opportunity maybe for the Barrow Raiders to get themselves on the scoreboard, just to stabilise things. Noon motoring onto that ball, they will do. And Paul Noon gets the try, or does he? And referee Ron Lawton wants to know if there was any obstruction in the build-up to that. I couldn't spot any.
I think he's going to have a little look. If James Coyle, I think James Coyle, the number 7 who gets the ball, I think he holds the player up. What does Knowles do? Does he deliberately run into the Halifax defender? It's Penkovic.
I'm not sure whether Penkovic has enough time to get away from that defender, although video ref seems clear.
Have the Barrow Raiders got the try that they need before half-time to get on the scoreboard.
5 metres out, Ray.
Boys, fucking get back.
The try is disallowed. Obstruction is the call, and that is a harsh one as well.
Yeah, Michael Lodge, you can see that when Coyle gets the ball, he takes it forward. Knowles just runs into Penkovic there.
I think Penkovic can get away from that player and make that tackle. Played for and got, I think, that one.
Michael Knowles picked out as the culprit there, but I don't think he knew an awful lot about that. So Barrow denied, but they've shown that they can get through this Halifax defence. Halifax's defence hasn't been one of their strong suits this season.
It definitely has been in the opening 34 minutes of this game, though.
It has. Big 0 against their name, against the Barrow Raiders' name.
And Barrow, one of the best defensive teams in the competition.
Brannigan now. Black lying deep. Royston. At that time, the Barrow Raiders' defence was a bit tighter. Coyle with the tackle.
Dylan Nash calling for this ball to go up in the air now.
On the last. Will Brannigan heed the call? No, he's stepped out of trouble. He's put the little grubber kick in himself. Katic has got back, and Katic has got the ball. He did well there, did Ned Katic. He put himself between Brannigan and the ball and made sure he was the first to it.
Well positioned and well taken by the big man Ned Katic. Brannigan puts the kick through, he just gathers that, he nearly loses it. He just clings onto it. Good little twos play by Martin Osler.
I'm not sure that's what they need, having just got the ball back. Simple plays for Barrow now. Get down the other end of the field.
Here's Keil Carlisle. Makes some yards for his new side. Huddersfield Giants youngster, Noon. Robbed of a try, he'll feel. Coyle takes the pass. Rooney for Katic. Katic on for Harrison. Harrison trying to fend off Brannigan, gets the pass away. Into touch, he was looking for Bauer, trying to keep it alive. But it was good work by the Fax defenders.
Good defence by Halifax, the high fives. Harrison knows that he's going into touch. It was Brannigan, the Halifax defender. But again, trying to play outside of this Halifax side, very strong in the middle of the park. Steve McCormack, he's shaking his head and just want his team to play direct and take the chances around the middle of the park.
Referee asking them to set that scrum again. Still didn't look that pretty. Here is Royston.
I'm not sure whether scrums look pretty.
They did when you were in them.
Long time ago.
Just over the halfway line. With the Halifax captain, David Larder. Frank Watine, and Watine able to offload that ball in the tackle. But nowhere for Penkovic to go there. He's held, says the referee.
But take him to ground.
Brannigan. Wrench. Penkovic. Maloney is tackled on the 20-metre line. That's the 5th tackle. Once more, Nash has got his hand up asking for the ball, but goes in the other direction. And the kick is too strong. Ballard takes it on the full. And they'll come back to the 20.
Well, Halifax playing with an awful lot of confidence. Barrow trying to take a quick restart with Ballard, the winger. And Andreas Bauer do. They need the forwards to get forward again, running sideways. Easy targets to pick off. Again, Broadbent, easy target.
24-0, Halifax lead. Coming up to the end of this first half. And throughout this first half, that seagull has been on this pitch. He is not moving.
He's having a good view.
The kick is a good one. Finds touch from Keil Carlisle.
Well, a poor set of 6, but finished with a good kick by Carlisle. Just turning Halifax around. But they've got to play going forward, not sideways. Very easy as a defender to pick up a player who's running sideways.
Halifax head and feet at this scrum then on the 20-metre line in their own half. The Barrow Raiders players still chuntering about that disallowed try. No doubt about that man's try. David Wrench. Fine finish to that move. Here's Barlow now. So it's been a pretty good first 40 minutes for this Halifax side. One of the toughest away trips of the season, this. Only Featherstone have won here this season, but Matt Callan's men are halfway there. And on course for a double against the side that beat them in last year's grand final, so that'll be particularly sweet. There's Steve McCormack and Dave Clark, bit of work to do with their side at half-time.
Well, Steve McCormack will want some more from some of his star players.
Black finds touch with that kick, just eating up the seconds at the end of this first half.
Ben Black just knocking the clock down. Some of the Barrow players need to really step up in his second half as Matt Callan, the Halifax coach, makes his way down to the changing rooms.
And it did the trick, the kick from Nash, just ate up the seconds, so the hooter sounds. And it's worth the journey so far for those Halifax supporters. They've seen tries from Goddard with 2, Nash, and a David Wrench classic